Today we will present about economy world of Japan. We prepared this for our lecturer Puan Mazaitul Saadiah binti Muhammad. And this assignment is prepared by our group, which have 4 members. The first member and the first presenter is Aimi Syafiqah binti Muhammad Kamal Arifin. The second presenter is Kunur Fatihah binti Ku Muhammad Ayazi. The third presenter is Fatin Atira binti Muhammad Fairuz. The fourth presenter is Nur Aina Fazrin binti Azlan. What is macroeconomics? Macroeconomics is part of the economic perspective that focus on the economies of scope in a broader insight. It deals with the economy as a whole. It studies how the economy behaves in a broad outline. It is called to a branch of economy that studies decision making for the economy as a whole, such as national income, aggregate consumption and investment, unemployment, inflation, and internal trade. Macroeconomic in Japan. Japan has experienced a period of deflation and low economic growth since its economic bubble burst in the early 1990s. The second Abe administration, which took office in 2012, have attempted to use aggressive monetary policy and a flexible fiscal policy as a strategy to revive economic growth. Despite this effort, Japan still faces economic challenges exacerbated by the COVID-19 epidemic. The epidemic has affected Japanese manufacturing and has caused export and tourism to dwindle. The coronavirus pandemic, Japan was preparing to host the 2020 Olympic, which would have been an economic boost. But then the coronavirus hit and the decision was made to postpone the Olympic to the summer of 2021. As the coronavirus spread, Japan's economy was on the brink of a recession because of a slump in Chinese demand for Japanese export and reduced consumer spending. Full employment does not mean that there is no unemployed or jobless people in the economy. Full employment refers to the level of employment rate where there is no existence of involuntary unemployment. The unemployment rate is the ratio of unemployed to the total working population.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Kunupata binti Kuam Ayazi. Macroeconomy in Japan. In 2019, Japanese unemployment was one of the lowest among the countries. The unemployment rate in Japan reached up to 3.0% in August 2020 compared to 2.9% in the prior month, matching market expectations. It was still the highest jobless rate since May 2017 and is higher than the 2.2% in the same month. The number of unemployed increased by 4.6% to 2.05 million, while employment is up 0.2% to 66.59 million. The jobs to applicants ratio slumped to 1.04 in August from 1.08 in July, marking the lowest reading since January 2014. Current market economy problem in Japan's COVID-19 crisis. COVID-19 infection continue to rise across Japan every day, just like many other countries around the world. Japan has taken unusual and aggressive steps to cope with the pandemic-induced downturn of the economy. Japan's economy has also been severely affected by the crisis, with the April-June gross domestic product contracting by a post-flowers 27.8% in annual terms from the previous quarter. Since the beginning of the year, the government has taken an unprecedented step to cope with the pandemic. All of these steps were inevitable over the short term given the stark reality of the economic losses due to COVID-19. But those measures have given rise to new problems. The most symbolic phenomenon to emerge from those measures was devastating inflation. At this point, It's hard to tell what will happen, but it seems unlikely that inflation as in the past will take place. Popular sentiment has been dampened by the pandemic and demand for consumption and investment is expected to stagnate. In other words, the chance of an asset inflation are higher than those of an ordinary inflation. The government will face even more hilarious challenge in its macroeconomic management as the COVID-19 problem become more protracted. Currently, the unemployment rate remains quite low at 2.8%, but statistics show that aside from those who have lost their job, there are a large number of people on furlough leave remaining on the payroll because their employers receive government subsidy to keep them employed. It is feared that many more companies will go bankrupt and far greater numbers of people will lose their job once this subsidy and other financial support for business expire beginning this fall.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatih Atira binti Muhammad Fairuz. To reduce the risk of COVID-19, travelers advised to abide the following. Number 1, frequently clean hands by applying hand sanitizer or washing with soap and water. Number 2, cover mouth and nose with tissue when coughing and sneezing, then throw the tissue away immediately and wash hands. Third one, if experiencing a respiratory illness, call emergency services before going to the doctor or hospital to prevent the potential spread of the disease. Social distancing, the maintaining of physical distance between people that is considered so important. And number 5, in extreme cases, physical distance is enforced through lockdown and by prohibiting people from going out. So next one is people should avoid the 3 C's. Namely, number 1 is close contact, putting people in range of flying droplets from speaking, hugging and sneezing. Number 2, crowded space open to the public. And lastly, closed spaces with poor ventilation. Okay, current macroeconomic problems, COVID-19 crisis. Unfortunately, the pandemic in Japan has worsened notably since the beginning of October, with the number of new confirmed cases reaching a record high in November. As the country embarked on its third wave of infection, the surge in cases threatened to upon the ongoing recovery in household spending. As of mid-November, there had not been a discernible change in national mobility near retail and recreation establishment, which is tied to consumer spending.
This graph shows demand from the United States and Europe is picking up by rising COVID-19 cases and a shifting policy stance may stall it. Japan's goods export by country. A blue line is United States and a green line is China. The second headwind comes from China. Exports to China have been exceptionally strong, thanks in part to China's ability to keep infection rates low and to rebound to pre-pandemic levels of output. Japan's exports to China in September were up 14% from a year earlier. China has also been stockpiling semiconductors and related machinery as it attempts to build its own chips amid tensions with the United States. That has boosted demand for semiconductors machinery from Japan that accounted for nearly 20% of the year-over-year rise in exports to China. Strong semiconductor sales to South Korea and Taiwan may also ultimately be headed to China for stockpiling. Although China's demand for Japanese technology should remain strong, it is likely to wane once inventories are deemed sufficiently large. Japan's relatively low infection rate and
ample government support should foster a relatively strong recovery. However, already cautious consumers may pull back on their spending as inflation rates move higher. Plus, businesses are holding on of major expenditures until a more robust recovery is evident. Meanwhile, the rebound in external demand that has underpinned the recovery faces its own set of challenges ahead.